Wonder Woman Flight of Courage at Six Flags Magic Mountain is the world's tallest, fastest, and longest single-rail coaster. This coaster narrowly stole these records from Six Flags Great Adventure's Jersey Devil coaster. These two coasters have extremely similar layouts, but I'm pleased to say Wonder Woman runs considerably better. Find out why in this review. Rocky Mountain Construction unveiled the Raptor model back in 2015. They envisioned this coaster for smaller parks, but Six Flags has been one of the earliest adopters. They put the prototype at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas in 2018. This is none other than Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster. Then in 2021, they added Jersey Devil coaster to Six Flags Great Adventure. The ride was originally supposed to open in 2020, but it was delayed a year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Before Jersey Devil even opened, Six Flags Magic Mountain was already planning a near clone of this ride. Plans for the California's park coaster were submitted back in January of 2020 and approved in March 2020, right before the pandemic occurred. Based on this timing, I suspect this coaster was originally intended for 2021, but Wonder Woman Flight of Courage was delayed until 2022. The reason this coaster is not an exact clone of Jersey Devil is because it reuses the station of the former Green Lantern roller coaster. This was the atrocious Intamin Zack spin that ran from the park from 2011 to 2017. If you never rode this ride, consider yourself lucky. The ride was extremely uncomfortable. Needless to say, Wonder Woman is a major upgrade. The base layout is nearly identical to Jersey Devil. There are two changes. 1. The station is perpendicular to the lift hill. 2. This modification leads to there being an extra banked hill at the end before hitting the brakes. This puts the coaster's entrance on the DC Universe section. The layout then runs parallel to the midway where Tidal Wave once was, so the far end of the ride is plopped down in front of the entrance of Riddler's Revenge. If you visited this park before and after Wonder Woman was added, it is weird to see a coaster plop down the midway in front of Riddler. If you have ridden the aforementioned Golden Lasso coaster, the look of this coaster is nearly identical from a color scheme. You have golden yellow track, bright red supports, and patriotic trains. I love how close Flight of Courage is to the midway. You can get right up close to the ride for some great photo ops. It's a stark contrast to Jersey Devil. One side butts up against a backstage road. The other has the queue line. Now normally that would be a good thing, but the New Jersey park has a strict no loose article policy, so you cannot take advantage of those viewing windows from the queue line. The entrance plaza for Wonder Woman plays the heroine's iconic theme song. It's an epic score that gets you hyped for a ride. The first half of the queue line is a series of outdoor switchbacks, nothing too interesting. The second half of the queue line is much better. It takes place indoors, and you have some giant posters giving information about the Roman gods and Themyscira. The aesthetic reminds me of the first room of the Justice League Dark Ride. Unfortunately, the park decided to forego all theming once you reach the ride station. It is shockingly bare. It looks like the inside of a shipping container. There also isn't anything to see during the ride itself. That's the norm for most Six Flags coasters, and honestly, that's fine for this type of ride. The elements are more than capable of standing on their own. Now let's talk about the ride's capacity. As with Jersey Devil, each train holds just 12 riders in single file. That's a pretty small amount for a major thrill coaster, especially one at a park as large as Magic Mountain. The park owns 4 trains. Now I've seen Jersey Devil run with all 4 at once, but from locals, Wonder Woman typically operates with just 2 or 3 trains. While this ride's theoretical hourly capacity is lower than most of the park's other coasters, it has a better shot of hitting it. This is because of the continuously moving load platform. This is similar to the other Raptors in the Six Flags chain. You move like an assembly line. It gives guests a sense of urgency to board quickly. This keeps the line moving at a slow but steady pace. This has 2 impacts on the boarding experience. First, seat selection is not guaranteed. It is at the discretion of the employees. Some have no issue if you wait off to the side for a specific seat, but others ask you to board the next available seat. This can sometimes lead to parties being split across 2 trains. If an employee is willing to accommodate a seating request, I highly recommend trying the back row. This is my favorite seat on any of the Raptors, but because of how fast Wonder Woman runs, you'll get strong airtime no matter where you end up sitting. Second, no loose articles can be stored on the load platform. You can keep things in a secured pocket. If you don't have one of those, there are zippered pouches in front of you like Twisted Colossus. Or you have lockers right before you board. The Flash Pass merge point dumps you in a locker room beneath the station. You can either use these free lockers that are basically unsecured cubbies with a door on them, or you can pay for a secure $1 to $2 locker with a passcode. This room can be a bit chaotic for two reasons. One, these lockers are not double-sided, so you have people who are boarding and exiting in here at the same time. Two, some people try to cheat the system and get an extra ride without waiting, so the employee on duty needs to watch over the area like a hawk. From here, you just have another 5 minutes to queue as you just have a staircase directly into the station. How much time you can spend in the queue line as a whole depends wildly by day. On the park's busier days, this coaster can easily get a 1 to 2 hour wait. But if you go on a quiet day, the line should be under a half hour. But no matter when you visit, you usually can get a few laps in this coaster early in the morning with no wait because of how far back in the park it is. It is worth noting this ride is not available on the standard or gold Flash Pass. You can only skip this ride once in the highest tier Platinum Flash Pass. This park has had this policy on new rides for many years, so I suspect it will be relaxed as the ride ages. You can purchase a single shot skip the line pass for this ride, but that could cost you $15 to $20 per person depending on the day. I also had issues with this ride's reliability. When I visited last month, the ride was closed for a majority of my first day at the park. It opened late on my second day, but it didn't appear to have any problems once it did open for the day. Jersey Devil Coaster was quite prone to downtime in its opening year. It tended to open late for me, and was prone to a lot of short breakdowns. The ride was much more reliable in its second year, so I'm hoping Wonder Woman can overcome these issues in a similar fashion. Riders are restrained by harnesses similar to the other Raptors. You have a hard bar across your lap, and straps over your shoulders. These aren't the most ideal restraints for an airtime-based ride. I would prefer a traditional lap bar, but I don't find the restraints themselves uncomfortable. My biggest issue with the RMC single rails is how you need to position your legs. You keep your knees straight. Then you need to point your legs outwards due to a hump in the center of the vehicle. It is fine for a single ride, but it can start to make my hip feel weird if I ride multiple times without getting off, or if I get stuck on the ride. Once dispatched, you turn right out of the station and ascend the record-breaking 131-foot, or 40-meter tall lift hill. This is a whopping 1 foot taller than that of Jersey Devil Coaster. This is a quick and very loud lift hill. In general, this ride makes a ton of noise between that lift hill and the roar of the track itself. Once at the top, you are thrown over the near vertical drop. This plunge is spectacular in the back rows. You get some extreme ejector airtime. It is one of the best drops of any coaster. You'll still come out of your seat further up in the train, but the back is where you need to be to maximize this element. The pull-out blasts riders with strong Gs. This coaster, like many RMCs, doesn't focus as much on positive Gs, but you at least get one very good instance of them. This is followed by the first of 3 inversions, a dive loop. It has a very sharp crest, so it gives airtime for all. The front gets a good burst at the apex, and the back gets popped out of their seat on the descent. Those in the middle get weaker but more sustained airtime. But the laterals steal the show. Your body is violently thrown sideways on the twisting drop back down to ground level. It's especially sweet in the back row because your airtime occurs simultaneously with those laterals, and the pullout delivers a quick surge of positive Gs yet again. You then fly over a giant camelback. As with Jersey Devil, this offers the most sustained airtime moment on the ride, but has seemed to have a bit more vigor on Wonder Woman. This was some particularly strong ejector airtime. Next is the 0G stall. This is my favorite inversion on the ride. Everyone gets several seconds of hang time, but I particularly love the exit of this element in the back rows. You stay inverted as you drop back down to the ground. You then snap back upright at the last possible instant. This is a tenacious transition. You then have a great turnaround. Those up front get launched out of their seat going into it. Even those in back start to come out of their seat on the ascent. After a quick turn high in the air, you have a wonderful drop. It's another instance of thigh-crushing ejector airtime for those in the back rows. This immediately leads to a 0G roll. You get some more hang time. It's not as sustained as that of the stall, and the snap out of it is not nearly as violent. but it still is a very good inversion. I think this is the one element that rides better in Jersey Devil because you take it a tad slower in that ride, making it so you get more hang time. Wonder Woman then shoots up into the mid-course brake run. Those up front get abruptly shot out of their seat on the entry. Those in back get some very strong ejector airtime on the subsequent drop. And similar to how Jersey Devil has run since late 2021, this brake does not slow the train down one bit, so you have plenty of speed into the second half. The second half is the primary reason I prefer Wonder Woman to Jersey Devil. On the latter, you really need to be on the ends of the train to get airtime. This was not an issue on Wonder Woman. Every seat had airtime on the return run. And on the ends of the train, the airtime was considerably stronger and more sustained. Whereas Jersey Devil's finale at best is decent, Wonder Woman's finale is very good. The 3 outward banked hills have good sustained floater airtime on the ends of the train. Then the speed hill gives a strong burst of ejector airtime for all. The airtime isn't nearly as sustained in the middle of the train in the outward banks, but the 4 hills still pop riders out of their seat reliably. After this quartet of hills, you have a banked hill into the brake run. It doesn't do too much in most rows, but it offers a neat little lift in the back row, and then you're slammed back down into your seat as you hit the brakes. You then crawl back into the station, ending the 3,300 foot or 1,000 meter long coaster. I do not know what RMC did to make Wonder Woman run so much better than Jersey Devil, but it is much appreciated. The easy thing to point to may be the climate. It gets way cooler in New Jersey, and Jersey Devil understandably can run sluggish in those colder temperatures. But I've also ridden Jersey Devil on 90+ degree days when it should theoretically run at its peak. Wonder Woman on a 60-degree day ran better than Jersey Devil in any condition I've experienced it, and I have ridden Jersey Devil close to 80 times at this point in pretty much any condition. The final thing I want to touch on is the ride's smoothness. Some of the Raptors have developed a shake in a few valleys, but Wonder Woman does not have this issue so far. It tracks extremely well. So what would I rate Wonder Woman? I would give this coaster a 9 out of 10. I have always loved Jersey Devil's first half, and Wonder Woman's is equally as awesome. But this coaster also adds in a genuinely good finale. I was surprised how much better the airtime was. It makes this coaster a much more complete experience start to finish. Really my biggest con are the restraints for an airtime based ride like this. I still prefer the original Raptors to Wonder Woman. That layout has more intensity and crazier pacing. I also prefer Magic Mountain's other RMC and Twisted Colossus to this ride, but Wonder Woman is a welcome addition to the park and better than a handful of other RMCs. So those are my thoughts on Wonder Woman Flight of Courage at Six Flags Magic Mountain. What are your thoughts on this RMC Raptor? Do you also think it runs better than Jersey Devil? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.